Violence continues in Memphis after federal law enforcement officials shoot a man they were tracking. One of President Trump's closest senior staff members will step down at the end of the month. And a new coffee shop is opened in Pike County. We'll take you inside to show you what they're serving up.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6:31 on Friday, June the 14th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News this morning. It's a chilly start to your day. Some of you might need a big winter coat as you step out the door. Others of you might be running out without any shirt or something on because it's one of those mornings where you got to get your day started. Let's bring Brandon in this morning. He's going to give us a better breakdown of what to expect on this Friday. And Brandon, you know me, I'd be one of those people running outside without a shirt on.
Listen, you might get cold real fast this morning because it is fall-like, maybe even early winter-like on the temperatures this morning. Let's take a look at the cameras across the region this morning outside WYMT. Still some fog there. Also really foggy in Whitesburg, so just be careful this morning. Visibility down in some spots across the region. Harlan is the biggest there, but we're also seeing a hazard going back to sleep there on the temperature sensor. But look at those temperatures. 43 Jonesville, down to 51 in Prestonsburg and Jackson. That's our range this morning. 12-hour planner, we are going to see temperatures climb, but only into the mid-70s. It's going to be a beautiful day with lots of sunshine. Rest of the forecast on the way here in just a few minutes. Will?
A beautiful day for sure, Brandon. Thank you. Well, we are learning more about what went down between U.S. Marshals and a man they shot and killed in Memphis. The Marshals were hunting for 20-year-old Brandon Weber, who was wanted in Mississippi for shooting a person 5 times, ultimately killing them. The victim was selling a car on the Facebook marketplace. Weber tried to hide his identity by using a bogus account and phone number when he set up the meeting on Facebook.
A photo spread was shown to our victim, and he positively ID'd Mr. Weber as being the one who shot him and stole his car.
Violent riots broke out over Weber's death. 36 police officers were injured by bricks and rocks being hurled at them, and more than 20 police cars were vandalized. Authorities say they grieve for the loss of Weber's life, but wish people would wait for information before turning to violence. A father in New York City is grieving the loss of his only daughter who died earlier this week. He is also remembering the teenager who died trying to save her life. On Sunday, family members say 19-year-old Lucas Silverios ran back into a burning 16-floor building to try to save 3-year-old Yasleen McDonald. Both Silverios and McDonald suffered burns to 80% of their bodies. McDonald died on Monday. Silverios succumbed to his injuries on Wednesday. The man accused of killing 51 people at 2 mosques in New Zealand was in court Friday morning. Brenton Tarrant entered a not guilty plea on 51 charges of murder, 40 charges of attempted murder, and 1 terrorism charge at the Christchurch High Court in relation to the March 15th massacre. The 28-year-old Australian appeared via video link from a small room at the maximum security prison in Auckland, where he's being held. Tarrant's lawyer entered the pleas on his behalf. Well, back here at home, a Laurel County woman found a safe haven at a Walmart after escaping from her boyfriend. Deputies say 35-year-old Elmo Clinton Carroll kept his girlfriend in a tent for 2 days before she escaped. When deputies got to the Walmart, they say employees were hiding the woman from Carroll. He's charged with assault and unlawful imprisonment. Now, also in Laurel County, a man was arrested for allegedly threatening deputies. Deputies arrested Curtis K. Wood on Tuesday. They were responding to a call of a disturbance. Officers say K. Wood was threatening deputies over the over the phone to 911 dispatchers. When they arrived, they believed that K. Wood was under the influence. He is charged with disorderly conduct as well as terroristic threatening. Over in Pulaski County, the Sheriff's Department there needs your help finding a missing woman. Family members say they have not seen or heard from Leanne Brumley in about 3 weeks. She was last seen around May 22nd. If you have any information about her, you are asked to contact the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office. You can call them or message the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office Facebook page or leave an anonymous tip on their website. In political news this morning, Sarah Huckabee Sanders is leaving her job as White House press secretary at the end of this month. President Trump announced the news on Twitter, thanking her for her 3.5 years on the job. The departure caps a tumultuous tenure as the president's chief spokeswoman, during which she largely redefined the job. The president said she will return to her home state of Arkansas and floated the possibility she may run for governor. Meanwhile, a federal agency is recommending that White House counselor Kellyanne Conway be removed from office. The U.S. Office of the Special Counsel submitted the report to President Trump on Thursday, detailing Conway's alleged violation of the Hatch Act. The law bans federal employees from being involved in political activities while being a member of the executive branch. In a statement, the White House said the accusation violates Conway's constitutional rights to free speech and due process. Employees of the Department of Agriculture Research Agency stood in silent protest of Secretary Sonny Perdue during a meeting yesterday. Perdue announced Thursday morning the Economic Research Service and the National Institute of Food and Agriculture will be moving to their headquarters from Washington, D.C. to Kansas City, Missouri. Perdue's letter cites lower living costs and moving the agencies closer to ag-related businesses as the reason for the move. American farmers have been outspoken against tariffs, but some are praising President Trump's decision to use more ethanol in fuel. Ethanol is made from corn, so farmers have been pushing for increased levels in gasoline for years, especially because corn is not as profitable as it used to be. Ken McCauley is a member of the board of Kansas Corn Growers Association. He said he is glad the proposed tariffs against Mexico did not go into effect this week.
Mexico is our #1 buyer of corn. That's just super important, especially in Kansas, because it's a straight shot down to Mexico. So we're very happy about that. We're calling on Congress now to get that ratified.
McCauley says he is optimistic about future trade relations between the United States and foreign countries. Well, Congress wants to speak with 2 former Trump administration officials who pleaded guilty in the Mueller investigation. The White House Intelligence Committee issued subpoenas for former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn and former campaign deputy Rick Gates. The duo pleaded guilty in the special counsel's probe before cooperating in the investigation. No date has been set for any potential testimony. A deep fake video of Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg manipulates his words. It makes it seem like he's talking to CBS News, but it's not real. The increase of these deep fake videos has drawn concern from lawmakers. Thursday, the House Intelligence Committee explored what could be done and how new technology is potentially putting national security and future elections at risk.
I don't know if we can ever be completely prepared for this, but there is a lot more that we can do.
They could target individuals, individual communities with different types of content.
Now, tech leaders and lawmakers face a deadline for action with the next election just around the corner. No laws currently regulate the videos. Well, the Democratic National Committee announced Thursday which 20 of the 23 Democratic presidential candidates qualified for the first debates. They, of course, include the 2 leading candidates, former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders. Candidates had to certify they have at least 1% support in 3 approved polls or received campaign contributions from 65,000 unique donors. The debates take place on June 26th and 27th in Miami. In November, Kentucky voters overwhelmingly supported a ballot measure that would grant guaranteed rights for crime victims. However, those votes have been thrown out and the proposed amendment is now void. The Kentucky Supreme Court ruled Thursday that the ballot question on Marsy's law was too vague. Advocates for the amendment say it's only the latest setback in a long battle. Well, on a much lighter note, a coffee shop in Elkhorn City is brewing up more than just coffee. It's also percolating stories. WYMT's Buddy Forbes spoke to the owner of RFG Society Coffee Shop, who says she is blessed to be a stop for tourists who come into the area.
A new coffee shop in Elkhorn City.
I know I don't have a whole lot of room, I'm more of a grab and go, but I still like for people to have a nice cup of coffee.
Is in a prime spot for locals and tourists.
The Trans-American Bike Trail goes right by.
Some people just drop in for the coffee.
I do make it a few sweets and stuff, but it's mostly my coffee.
Others looking for a little direction.
They kind of keep it just like talking about the trails and stuff, and they ask me like where the next place is to stay for the night.
But Jerica Taylor said her favorite type of customer
I love it.
ends up sharing a piece of their story. Like one cyclist from the Netherlands who shared his experience of traveling the Trans-America Bicycle Trail twice.
When he was 18 or 19, he had done it, and now he was 60-something.
But not every detail.
He wouldn't tell me his exact age. But he's like, it's been a long time, and I asked him if it changed, and he was like, yeah, it's changed a lot.
Taylor said the stories have been something she enjoys hearing.
Can't get that around here.
And she wants to make sure each person with a story is honored in her shop.
I decided couldn't stand knowing that all these people were coming from, overseas and stuff, and I couldn't show everybody.
So she added a new fixture to give them a chance to be remembered.
You don't have to be across country. You can be out of state. It don't matter. Kayaking or hiking, whatever you're doing, it don't matter. I'll let you stick a pin on it.
And wants people to put it to use.
Yeah, I'm hoping they will.
As her shop is filled with their stories. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Taylor said she has been working to host live music and more at the coffee shop. To keep up with her plans for the store, visit the RFG Society Facebook page. Well, it's 6:42 on this Friday morning. Let's send it on over to Brandon for a breakdown of what to expect on a chilly Friday start.
And coffee looked really good there in that store. I'm going to have to go check that out at some point. But you see here on the last 6-hour loop of the satellite and radar, not much to report. Not even cloud cover this morning. All that's cleared out behind that cold front. 0 visibility in Harlan, 8 miles of visibility in Williamsburg. And, of course, a lot of visibility issues across the mountains. Don't forget, these sensors are at the airports. A lot of those are up on those ridges, and it's in the valley. So keep that in mind. 47 here in Hazard, 45 in Jonesville, back up from 43. But Somerset's down to 43 now. 48 Ashland, 50 Pikeville, Prestonsburg, and 51 in Jackson. About 9 to 10 to even 14 degrees colder than it was this time yesterday across the region. So if you're heading out the door soon, grab a jacket, a sweatshirt, or something. You'll be able to get rid of it a little bit later today as we see temperatures at 75 with some sunshine later this afternoon. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, we will have stories that are trending on WYMT.com next. As always, thank you for joining us right here on Mountain News this morning.